Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats. Pleasant good evening and welcome to the Bahamas Diaspora Association and Royal Caribbean International presenting the 3rd Annual Bahamas Diaspora Independence Awards Dinner. As we present these awards for distinguished service, I'd like to introduce our MC for this evening, Mr. Jerry C. Butler, Chairman of Butler Investment Group.
Good evening, everyone. It was really weak, you know. In the Bahamas, when we say, good evening, everyone, good evening. That was even weaker. You all ain't eat yet, right? Ever heard of sing for your supper? PJ, thank you very much for your kind introduction. So, just like a Junkanoo parade that's supposed to start at 2 a.m. in the morning. Right, I know some of y'all gonna say Saxons, and some of y'all may say Valley Boys. So I'm getting ready to start. Friends, colleagues, Bahamians, Americans, Bahamian Americans, Caribbean people, welcome to the Bahamas Diaspora Association's 3rd Annual Bahamas Independence Awards Dinner. Thank you all so much for taking time out of your busy schedules tonight to come here and fellowship and network. And I want you to know that we'll get through tonight and we're going to recognize some very special people who make the relationship between the Bahamas and the United States of America possible. And then I'm going to hope and pray everybody gets home safe and sound. And someone like me who has to get on the 7 a.m. flight tomorrow back to Nassau, I want you all to pray I get home safe and sound, okay? Cool, cool. Sounds good. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start tonight with a little bit of levity. So I want the spoken word artist, Gary Allen, to come up. And while he's on the way, in this room, I want to recognize some special people from the Bahamas in the first instance. So I want to recognize from the Office of the Prime Minister, MP for Central, South, and Mangrove Key, that great continent in the Bahamas called Andros. Let's recognize Minister Leon Lundy. Minister Lundy, where are you? And in his entourage, he's got our Parliamentary Secretary, Kingsley Smith, in the Office of the Prime Minister in Grand Bahama. Kingsley, take a bow. The newest MP in the House. And then, of course, our erstwhile Consul General, who is always here present in Miami, doing wonderful things for us, Kurt Hollingsworth. Kurt, the shortest man in the room. And then the man who is in Washington, making everything happen for us, who has the most enduring radio, television enterprise station in the Bahamas, my good friend and colleague, Ambassador Wendell Jones. Wendell? All right, and representing the mayor of Miami-Dade from her office is a very special lady, and she came here just tonight to represent our mayor. Michelle Johnson, where are you, Michelle? There she is. All right, I'm done with most of the formalities. Gary, where are you with the spoken word? You know, when Gary talks, everybody ought to listen. So please pay close attention to the man, Gary Allen.
Appreciate that, sir. Good to see you. It's good that they called me up so fast, didn't get a chance to stay nervous. Well, I want to say this poem in honor of my aunt. You know, she recently passed, Dr. Enos C. Pinckney, and she was here last year. And the name of this poem is called Road to Independence. Bear with me. The Bahamas has 700 islands under the sun, and I, a child of the island, was born on one. Nassau, New Providence, that's where I from. The black aqua gold goes deep into my soul. In my blood it flows, from my roots it grows. To the Atlantic Ocean it goes. From the sea my country rose, a beauty to behold. By currents, waves, winds it was molded, fearfully and wonderfully formed. And into this Lucayan archipelago I was born. My mummy was a pretty woman. She had a gap-toothed smile. She was my father's sweetheart. You can call me the outside child. The firstborn son of my mother, one sister, 4 brothers on mummy's side. I ain't gonna lie. My father ain't stay around for long. Bush crack, mine gone. He do mummy wrong, but hey, life goes on. I grew up on an island paradise, living that island life, playing in bush, flying kites, eating pigeon peas and rice, fried down onion and tomato paste, ball fish and grits and Johnny cake, coconut tart that mummy bake. Island life, slingshot, shooting marbles and BB guns, stopping on the side of the road, picking cocoa plums, catching the cold breeze under the cedar trees, swimming in sea, drinking tea and eating bread at night. This was my island life. But even on an island paradise, there's no roses in the sun. And I, being the firstborn son of a single mother, I carried my mummy pain. My birth certificate don't have my father's name. So I grew up in shame, the big-haired kid that didn't fit in, the only one in my family with light skin. Flashbacks come in. I see mummy wearing shades, covering up her black eye her mind made. More flashbacks. Why didn't I fight back? Little boy trapped, carrying the weight. Next thing I know, you go in to live with your aunt in the United States. Now in the Bahamas, they throw you in the water to teach you how to swim. I had to learn real fast or drown when they threw me in. I wonder what my aunt and mummy was thinking. When they throw me in, I started sinking. Little Bahamian boy filled with fear and questions. Why did my mummy send me over here? How did I end up in this situation? Someone said it was for a better education. I lived in blame and shame, and my pain defined me. I was in bondage to my past and what was behind me. Emotionally damaged, the lies took root. Afraid to speak the truth, I hid my voice. Searching for love, rejection was not my choice. I have become a child of the diaspora, living with 2 minds, American, Bahamian, in this passage of time. My history shaped and colonized my mind and filled my heart with fear, and my journey has been paved with dangers, toils, and snares, doubts and fears, a trail of tears over the years. Freedom called, but it was hard to believe or conceive that freedom could be achieved. When facing the battles, twists, turns, trials, tribulations, and lessons to be learned, independence is not given, it's earned. By facing the storms, holding on when the battle rages on and the soul is worn and the heart is torn when the fight is long and it seems there's no end in sight. And it gets hard to stay in the fight, and there's more darkness than light. And bondage was calling my name. I lived in fear, afraid of change. But I had to hold on when the battle was strong, keeping the faith and marching on the road to independence from what had me bound, the chains and shackles that held me down. With eyes watching me, my story unfolds as I continue on the road to independence until freedom is reached, telling the history of my country and the history of me, and becoming all that I was created to be. Fighting the good fight, shining my light. It's by God's Spirit, not by might. I will stand until the road we trod leads unto our God. March on, Bahama land. Thank you.
Hey, Gary just wrote that tonight. Absolute brilliance. So while we were listening to Gary, some of my other special friends and Andy Ingram's other special friends entered the room, and I just want to recognize them. So this week we were at an investment and hotel meeting here, and the person who spoke highly about the place that employs her and the place she wants you to come and visit, she is here. So usually I'll say Othniel because I know Othniel very well, but tonight I want to introduce our Director General of Tourism, Latia, with her dear handsome husband, Othniel. Latia? You could stand too, Othniel. And he didn't pay me to do this, but he always makes me do this. Let me introduce Stanley Campbell for Senate. Stanley, where are you? Bahamian heritage all the way. He's running for the Senate position for the state of Florida. And he is, of course, accompanied by the lovely Cheryl Campbell. And Cheryl is the Assistant Secretary for Administration at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Cheryl? If you ever get a chance to play a good round of golf a little bit north, Stanley is one of the few black men I know, and that's because he's super wealthy, hey, who owns his own golf course. So don't forget that, okay? You want a round of golf? Think Stanley Campbell, okay? And then, of course, vote for him to be a senator. So with that being said, I know I'm holding you back from your food, but we're not heathens here, right? So after we sing the national anthem and she's been warming up her voice, then we're going to have a prayer and you guys can dive in and eat as you want. So please help me welcome Miss Dranae Hudson to sing our national anthem. And I would ask you all to stand, please.
Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland. March on to glory, your bright banners waving high. See how the world marks the manner of your bearing. Pledge to excel through love and unity. Pressing onwards, march together to a common lofty goal. Steady sunward, though the weather hides the wide and treacherous shore. Lift up your head to the rising sun, Bahamaland. Till the road you've trod leads unto your goal. March on, Bahamaland.
Bahamian all the way. Thank you so much, Trinae. Please be seated. Please help me welcome the Reverend Vincent Brown, the pastor of St. Matthew's Church here in Miami, and he's going to bring the invocation and bless our food so we could dive right in. Vincent, where are you?
Let us pray. Almighty God, our Heavenly Father, we, your unworthy servant, do give thee thanks for all of your loving kindness and your tender mercies. We ask your divine blessing upon the leadership of the Bahamas Diaspora Association. We pray, O God, for this event, all the participants. And, O God, we ask your blessing upon the food. We ask, O God, that thou would purify it and that it would do our bodies good. In the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen.
Vincent, that was short and sweet. I'm coming to your church every Sunday, Matt. Thank you, Vincent. So, ladies and gentlemen, colleagues, guess what? It's time to eat. So, dinner is going to be served, and while dinner is being served, we're going to have a few remarks by a few important people, okay? So please don't use those knife and forks too heavy on your plate because I want you to also listen a little as you munch along, okay? That's a deal, right? Okay, thank you all very much. It's always a pleasure and a privilege to be able to welcome my good friend up to say a few remarks, because he is the genius, the connector, the man behind all of this. And while this is the third annual Bahamas Independence Awards dinner, you know, he's been doing this National Association of Black Hotel Owners and Developers Conference that we were here for all this week for the last 28 years. And it's nothing short of his tenacity and his ability never to accept no as an answer that this conference continues to grow. Students benefit from it, and we get a flow of some of the best and brightest Bahamians coming here and sharing the experience of what it is to move from being waiters, waitresses, busboys, and all the other stuff that makes a hotel work, to being a mastermind hotel owner or a hotel developer. So, without further ado, friends, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome my good friend, the erstwhile Dr. Andy Ingram. Andy.
Thank you very much, Jerry. Good evening. That's pretty weak. Let me try this again. Good evening.
Good evening.
Stanley, I know he said you're running for the state of Florida, but you're running for the United States Senate. I want to make sure that's clear. You know, we want to be a powerful force in any place we go, particularly the United States. Let me first of all welcome all of you. My good friend Latia from the Bahamas. Thank you very much for your support. My good friend Kingsley Smith and his lovely wife, who was with us all day. And I should tell you that Kingsley spent all week talking about how to invest in the Bahamas. When we look at generational wealth, we all want to take advantage of what Dr. Fields has done in this country. And that is very simple. In her research on African Americans in this country, at the same time she elevated Bahamians and our history. I'm so proud of what she's done. Dr. Fields, may I recognize Dr. Fields? Thank you. This last week, we lost what I call an angel, Dr. Enid Pinckney. She was here last year, and Rosie, who's my colleague from NAB, President of the National Association of the Bahamas. Rosie, where are you? Please stand and be recognized. So last year, I had given Rosie specific instructions. I said, Rosie, when it comes time for Dr. Pinckney to get up, please help her up, and we're not going to let her go to the stage. We're going to ask her to stand below so there's not a real hassle to get on the stage. Well, as the story was told, her name was called, she popped up. By the time as Rosie pivoted, like a running back, she breezed right by Rosie. I saw her coming, and I went to approach her to the stairs, and she said, move out the way. You're not going to stop me from getting to the top. And that's what it's all about in this country. How do we continue to excel? And for us in the Bahamas diaspora, it doesn't matter how far we go. And you'll hear from our awardees tonight, whether it's a young man born in Nassau that couldn't go to Miami Beach. Today, he's the chief of one of the major cities in South Florida. And of course, I must recognize my good friend Russell. Russell from Royal Caribbean. When he first came to Florida, I thought he was a country boy coming to make a living here. And then he decided to work for Royal Caribbean. But let me backtrack. He happened to be in a city where one of my daughters had a business. And any time I had an issue or challenge, I can call him. That's what friends are for. When he went to work for the Bahamas, I warned him. I said good things, Lutia, but I warned him. They are a tough crew, but they will embrace you as a brother, and they did. Ladies and gentlemen, it's only our 51st year of independence. I am thrilled because we have a bright future. I'm thrilled because of the young people that we had here today recognize our group of diverse leaders. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm thrilled because all of you that continues to embrace the diaspora, that continues to excel with not greatness, but with goodness about, a little love. And I would be remiss if I didn't recognize my 4-year-old grandson. I put him to work early, sitting in the back. Roman, wave your hand. I want him to see what work is all about. But if you join me in a moment of silence for Dr. Pinckney. Where's Gary? Gary is her nephew, and I got a call. Talked to Gary a few days, and I said, Gary, how is she? He said, Andy, we had to take her to the hospital, and she's in ICU. And a couple of days later, about 7 o'clock in the morning, I got a call from Rita, and I can tell by her voice. And I said, don't tell me. And then Enid Pinckney had passed away. So please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. I yield.
Kingsley, you hear him say, I yield? He think he in the House of Assembly. Andy, thank you very much. I know you'll get a chance to come back on when we get to the formalities of the ceremony, but it is because of your vision that a lot of this stuff is happening. And I can tell you last year, God rest her sweet soul. Dr. Pinckney, she ran me out because I tell her she have to stay in her seat to give the award. And she say, I am walking on my own, young man. That's the scariest I've been since my grandma beat me. She's sitting right over there. What a darling of a lady. And may her soul and the souls of all the faithfully departed rest in peace through the mercies of God. Amen? All right. So the next person who will bring us some warm greetings will be Miss Hazel Rogers, who is the Commissioner for Broward County, Florida. Hazel, please welcome her.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here tonight because Andy Ingram, if you are a friend of Andy, he calls you late at night. For real, right? And he expects that you will answer the phone, and whatever it is that he wants, he takes no for an answer. So I say, Andy, you know I'm just getting back from vacation today. You know that, right? Yes, ma'am. You know, so I must love you.
I certainly hope so.
No, I love the people who's in this room. Bahamians in the house, how are you? It's good to be here as you celebrate your 51st anniversary of independence. And how proud you must be, because we are now in America. We call it the diaspora. And yes, it's our home away from home, but as a Jamaican, we don't live. Jamaica is just down there and Bahamas just over there, right? So we can go home whenever we want to. And that little vacation I took stopped in the Bahamas. I won't tell you where because I'm not talking. And this is not being Facebook and all of those kind of stuff. This is a private gathering of ministers, and when we have elected officials in the room or representative of government, we always want to say welcome to Broward County. And we're not in Broward County, and the mayor is not here, but I know she has a representative here. So I will join her representative in saying it's good to be here, good to be amongst businesses from the Bahamas, those that want to do business here in South Florida, specifically Broward County. I can tell you we're open for business, so please do not forget, you know, to stop in Broward County. But there's just one thing I want to share with those of us. This year is a very important, critical year. So as we talk about Mr. Stanley Campbell and how proud we are of him, I'm more proud of everyone, regardless of who you will vote for, that you recognize the power in this country is your vote. Can I get an amen on that one? I'm not going to be preaching because there's a guest speaker, but as I welcome you while you're here, remind your family and your friends, remind everyone, please use that vote, okay? So I know I saw a colleague that should be here, but Broward County sends you greetings, and those who reside in Miami-Dade County or Palm Beach, we have a lot of housing. We are putting in more housing here in Broward County because our population is growing. So if you want to move to Broward County, just know we have an open door program. If you want to do business at our airport and our seaport, yes, we have our foreign trade zone. Just ask us about it. That's where you can get all of the incentives and all of the waiving of fees now that we are helping the countries impacted by beryl. We still are asking you for roof material. We are asking you for even toilets, I heard. Those flew away. But whatever you can give, however you can contribute, we're asking you not to forget all the islands that were impacted. God bless you and enjoy. And congratulations to those honorees. This is all about those that we're recognizing tonight. Don't forget them, and we ask for your blessings as you grow your business, as you engage in this or home away from home. Let me say thank you for inviting me, thank you for making me feel welcome, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
Commissioner, kindly remain on stage for a special presentation.
Yes, Hazel, we have a small token of Bahamian gratitude for a Jamaican sister. Okay? Mr. Dr. Andy Ingram is going to make this wonderful presentation to you. You know how you love us? We love you too.
Sure.
Okay.
Hazel, you've really been the epitome of an elected official, whether you were in the State House where Yolanda would consistently lobby you. When you became the mayor of Lauderdale Lakes, you were a friend. And I can remember going to your mother's house and getting some Jamaican fruitcake. And of course, now you're a county commissioner. And Hazel, if I ask her to give me something, is that illegal? Not Hazel, Yolanda? I can't lobby you on stage, right? No, I won't try it. But you're building an 800-room hotel in Fort Lauderdale that I'd spent 12 years going after. We didn't get it, but I know.
I was there with you, right?
You were.
Because, okay, just want to remind you.
Oh, you were, and I still want to come back. I want a piece of the action.
A restaurant at the hotel.
I want a restaurant at the hotel. Thank you. On behalf of the Bahamas Diaspora, we're giving you the Bahamas Diaspora Political Leadership Award for the leadership that you've done all throughout your career. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Let's congratulate Hazel again. Hazel, thank you, hey? Yeah. So next up on our agenda, welcome remarks from my good friend from Grand Bahama. I have the distinction in this room of being a certified IAAF coach in track and field. And he and we did our certification together. One of the greatest coaches Grand Bahama ever produced, but in Nassau, we coaches always beat his team. So with that being said, let us welcome our Consul General to Miami and the Florida area, Mr. Kurt Hollingsworth. Kurt?
Those of you that know better know that Jerry was trying to get a point in there, but he didn't land it, and that's the same way they did it with the jump shots and the free throws that they kept missing. A quote attributed to Albert Schweitzer is, "Success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success." If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. Honorable Leon Lundy, board members of the Bahamas Diaspora Association, esteemed guests, tonight's honorees, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. The theme selected for the 51st anniversary celebration of independence in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is One People United in Love and Service. This theme is a line taken from the Bahamian Pledge of Allegiance, and it signifies the foundation of what our country was founded on, which is love and service to all mankind. According to the Independent Secretary of the Bahamas, the premise of the theme reminds Bahamians to take pride in their identity and letting that pride inspire them to serve their country, support fellow citizens, and collaborate towards a better, safer, cleaner, and more prosperous Bahamas. It is with this notion that Bahamians everywhere should strive for excellence and an unmatched zeal for unity so that our country can continue to set the example as a beacon of not only pride, but a symbol of progress in the world. I am here this evening to celebrate our nation's independence with you and recognize the awardees. But first, I wish to offer congratulations to the Bahamas Diaspora Association and its board members for taking the initiative to recognize outstanding Bahamians and those who work on behalf of Bahamians in the diaspora for 3 consecutive years at this award dinner. Next, I would like to congratulate the honorees this evening. We are not here just to acknowledge your accomplishments, but to recognize the spirit of perseverance that has caused you to be recognized this evening. You are indeed shining examples of what it means to strive for greatness. As you accept your awards tonight, it is by no means a accumulation of your efforts, but a stepping stone towards even greater achievements. Let this recognition propel you forward, fueling your ambition, encouraging you to continue your journey of growth and excellence. Let us continue to strive for excellence, support one another in our initiatives, and celebrate our achievements together. Congratulations, honorees, on your well-deserved success. Happy 51st Independence to you all. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Consul General, and we really appreciate those remarks. Sometimes we need to really recognize some of those companies and corporations that really stand by us and help us get things done in the Bahamas and in the US. So it is a guy who comes into the Bahamas like maybe once a month, but whenever he comes in, he'll always call me to let me know he's about to leave. So he and I both have a keen interest in the new port that was being built. So I just wanted to recognize the fact that one of our supporters and key sponsors here is none other than Royal Caribbean International. This is their table here. And while Royal Caribbean is ably represented, I wanted to point out just 2 people who are dear friends to me. First is the Senior Vice President for all governmental matters, and he is the man in the Bahamas, and that's Mr. Russell Benford. Russell? And then Royal Caribbean made the giant leap of appointing a Bahamian as the local representative for Royal Caribbean in the Bahamas. And I'm happy to say that he is one of my mentees. He's a good son, and I am always very proud of him. Bahamians, let's recognize Mr. Philip Simon. And again, thank you, Royal Caribbean. Now, PJ, I'm a Bahamian and I need to eat. So we have like 3 more very important speakers, and I know you're going to do the honors while I go eat, right?
With pleasure, sir.
All right. I'm going to retire for a moment, and the sweet voice of PJ is going to take over while you eat your food. PJ.
Please welcome to the stage Mr. Wendell K. Jones, Bahamas Ambassador to the United States.
Minister of State Lundy, Excellencies, distinguished Bahamians, members of the Diaspora Association, it is wonderful to be here in Miami to celebrate Bahamians and those who are being awarded this evening. Andy sent me a note to be here from Washington, and knowing of his organizational skills, I thought that I would be here to join him in saluting a number of Bahamians and others who are serving the Commonwealth of the Bahamas extremely well. The Bahamas is a country in progress. We have been called the Isle of June a long time ago. But long before that, we have been producing citizens who have made significant contributions in the United States of America, of which we have been proud long before independence. We have heard of W.E.B. Du Bois, who was the first black man to earn a PhD from Harvard University. He and his family, they hailed from a place we used to call Fortune Island, which is Long Key in the southeast Bahamas. And then there was a man who, his mother was born in the Bahamas. She lived on Hospital Lane. Her name was Lois Dillette, who married a Johnson. They moved to the United States. His name was James Weldon Johnson. And he wrote the Negro National Anthem. I mention these two to tell you that we come from a long line of academic luminaries, and they continue to exist, and they continue to make significant contributions here in the United States of America. And whether you are talking about university professors, whether you're talking about scientists, or the engineer from NASA, who is a Bahamian, or Dr. Charlotte Roll, who was one of the researchers for the AstraZeneca vaccine, they are Bahamians. I've had the good fortune as the ambassador to the United States to have on webinars some of these academic luminaries. And so tonight, as we celebrate the 51st anniversary of our independence, I would like to celebrate Bahamian excellence. Because it was through Bahamian excellence that most of us came to be what we are. That most of the honorees tonight came to be what they are. It wasn't a long time ago that the Bahamas was known as a fishing village. Today we are a growing metropolis. We are the envy of all of the countries in the Caribbean, and I indeed say in the Americas, because of the extent to which we have grown exponentially. We have made quantum leaps over the last 51 years. And that is because our founding fathers, who brought independence into being, they were able to release the spirits of the Bahamian people, and they caused us to fly. We are now going stratospheric in so many ways. Whether you're talking about athleticism, we have done 16 medals in the Olympics. And the Olympics are going on right now. And I wouldn't be at all surprised if we were to win another gold medal in these Olympic Games. I mention these things so that Bahamians everywhere can be proud of what we have become in this short period of time. There are too many people who believe that we have not done what we should have done. But given the age that we are as a nation, we are performing extremely well. And we ought to stop sometimes to congratulate ourselves. We don't do that as often as we should. And that is why I thought I would be here tonight to join this association in saluting these Bahamians who are doing well. Because there are thousands of Bahamians in the United States who have become global citizens, who continue to hold the flag, carry the banner, and they are making us proud wherever they are. I started with W.E.B. Du Bois and James Weldon Johnson, but there are so many others who are not recognized, and they are all over the United States of America. Some people say that we are punching above our weight. Yes, we are. Because there was a time in the Bahamas when the vast majority of Bahamians were poor. And they were poor and didn't even know they were poor. Many of them came to Florida, and there was a Bahamian who signed the treaty, the charter, to get this city of Miami going in 1896. And then there were another group of Bahamians who started Fort Lauderdale. And the city of Fort Lauderdale actually started on land that was owned by Bahamians. I'm not going to talk about how Bahamians built Key West and Liberty City and Pirine and other places such. I tell you, we have a lot to be proud of and to give thanks for. And so as we move forward in our 51st year, we are called upon to be a people of love and unity. Let us unite, continue to unite as a people, to show the world who we are and what we have become in this short period of time. The Bahamas runs northwest to southeast, and the vast majority of our development is taking place in the northwest Bahamas. Our southeastern islands are being depopulated, and I call on people in the diaspora to consider investing in the Bahamas, in those southeastern islands of the Bahamas, so that we can repopulate those islands, so that the development is not concentrated northwest, but the development is all through the Bahamas. The director of tourism is here this evening, and they are doing a wonderful job in promoting tourism. We are doing 10 million visitors a year. And I believe we can do far more if we were to look at diversifying the tourism industry. We talk about diversification, but we have merely scratched the surface in terms of tourism. And so we need to come together as a people, our diaspora, working with those people who are in the Bahamas, to further diversify our tourism industry, giving the world more experiences in our country, the Bahamas. If there is a Mediterranean cruise or a cruise of the Greek islands, certainly there can be a cruise of the Bahamian Islands. And so tonight, as we celebrate excellence, Bahamian excellence, I call on each and every one of you to take another look at how we are developing, nicely as we are developing, we have certainly only scratched the surface. Given all of the luminaries that we have produced in the United States of America, all of the great things that we have done in academia, in athleticism, and even in reaching the lost. I say reaching the lost because there are so many pastors and priests who are in the United States who have Bahamian heritage and who are indeed Bahamians. And so, let's come together as one. Congratulations to all of you who are being awarded this evening. Congratulations to the association for the wonderful job that they're doing in keeping the diaspora together. God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Thank you, Wendell K. Jones, Bahamas Ambassador to the United States. Next, bringing greetings is Cheryl Campbell, Assistant Secretary for Administration of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services.
Wow, that is a tough act to follow. Thank you so much. That makes it tough. So good evening, everyone, to all dignitaries and distinguished guests. Let me start with an acknowledgement of Andy. So there is a John F. Kennedy quote that defines, I believe, Andy Ingram. And John F. Kennedy said, "A high tide lifts all boats." I think Andy is a man whose mission is to lift and elevate all people. So I'd like to give Andy another round of applause. So little did I know at age 21, taking my first international trip to the Bahamas, thought I was the thing in the day, that I would be standing here tonight to say congratulations to the Bahamian people for celebrating your 51st year of independence. I can tell you as a young lady going to the Bahamas for the first time, I thought, wow, black people are in charge. Black people are in charge of everything. This is incredible. I left there with so much pride, so much pride. It was absolutely incredible. So I say to all of you, that's how we should always operate. So I want to share a couple of thoughts with you this evening. It's about fighting above your weight. In order to achieve prominence, to achieve greatness, to make a difference, you must first have confidence in yourself and have the ability to step out on faith. So when I define myself as a daughter, a sister, a wife, a mom, an auntie, a cousin, a girlfriend, a granddaughter, a great-granddaughter, a colleague, a mentor, a coach, a sounding board, a role model, a first, and a torch carrier. The role of black people, people of color, is endless. There's nothing that we cannot do in our life. I think Maya Angelou defined people of color and the Bahamian people well. She said, "My mission in life is not merely to survive, but to thrive, and to do so with some passion, some compassion, some humor, and most importantly, with some style." And I believe that defines the Bahamian people better than anyone that I can think of. So when my husband proposed to me almost 36 years ago, he said to me, "Baby, I will love you forever. I will put you first in my heart, and I will take you on an adventure of a lifetime." But what I married into as well is I married into a Bahamian mother-in-law and a Jamaican father-in-law. And I can tell you, they were a feisty couple. So I didn't know if we were eating pigeon peas and rice or rice and peas, but we were having a wonderful dinner no matter what we were doing. But what I can tell you is that they showed us what it meant to operate as a couple. They showed us what it meant to take care of family. They showed us what it meant to take care of community. I believe very strongly that with the Bahamian celebration tonight, that's what you demonstrate every single day. It is about the lifting of the community upon which you serve. So I am honored for the opportunity to be here. Yes, I am the Assistant Secretary for Administration with the Biden-Harris administration. I am so proud to serve. I strongly believe that leadership does matter. That's why I'm the first. But I'm really here as the wife of my husband, Stanley Campbell. I strongly believe he has truly been ordained by God to take on Rick Scott. I think God said, I need to bring this young man into the world. I need to have him be raised by this humble working class family. I need him to be educated in the Miami school system, to go to FAMU University to get his degree in physics and mathematics, to become a Navy pilot, to have 14 patents in artificial intelligence. And his software stops Medicare fraud every single day. And what did Rick Scott? And what did Rick Scott do? He defrauded Medicare. What is the person who can take on Rick Scott? The man who stops Medicare fraud every day goes up against this man who defrauded Medicare. I'm telling you, God has put the things in his path to bring us a blue Democrat for the state of Florida. And yes, I am the proud wife of your next U.S. Senator for this mighty state of Florida. So thank you for the opportunity. Thank you to the award, well, congratulations to the award recipients, and thank you for the opportunity for giving me a moment. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Cheryl Campbell, Assistant Secretary for Administration to the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Bringing greetings is Dr. Jay Patel of Nashville, Inc., and a member of the NABHOOD Board.
Good evening, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I bring greetings from the largest association that is proud to be partners with NABHOOD and the collaboration we have. I want to congratulate the Bahamas for your 51st celebration of independence, which is very truly important. And more importantly, I want to congratulate the recipients who are receiving these great awards. That's the true testament of the hard work that you've done. So I promise I'll be short. Have a good evening, and everybody, please enjoy your rest of your dinner.
Jay, thanks. Just like a lady's miniskirt, right? Short, but covers the important parts. That's Jay, thanks. Appreciate that. All right, well, you had the beautiful, sweet voice of PJ while I got a chance to take a bite. And we have, for the rest of the evening, a bit of a ceremony to go through to give our awards to our people. But before we do that, everybody can hear the drum roll. I know you know what you got to do. Let's stand up and listen to some music.
Ladies and gentlemen, a taste of the Bahamas as we celebrate our 51st anniversary of independence. Allow me to share some information about our keynote speaker this evening. Appointed as the Minister of State, the Honorable Leon Lundy also serves as the representative for Central, South Andros, and Mangrove Key. With a rich background in public service and community development, Lundy has dedicated his career to uplifting Bahamian society through various initiatives and programs. His leadership and commitment to progress have earned him respect both locally and internationally. As an advocate for the Bahamian diaspora, Lundy has worked tirelessly to bridge gaps and create opportunities for Bahamians abroad, making him a fitting speaker tonight. His desire is clear. Andros will no longer be a sleeping giant, but a loud machine. Our keynote speaker this evening, the Honorable Leon Lundy.
Thank you. Right when I thought Ms. Campbell had the hardest task tonight of following up the ambassador when he spoke, they go ahead and put Jankunu in front of me. I want to stand on the established protocol and also thank my Palsec, Kingsley Smith, for joining me. His newlywed wife is here with him, and before his 90 days turns into turmoil, I want to just introduce her, Mrs. Smith. Fellow members of our global Bahamian family, greetings. I am truly honored to address you all tonight at the annual International Bahamas Diaspora Summit Awards Gala dinner. This gathering reflects the connection that binds Bahamians together regardless of where we may be located in the world. As we mark our 51st year of independence, we are reminded of the history and vibrant culture that shapes our identity as a people. The journey of Bahamians is characterized by resilience, determination, and a strong sense of community. Tonight, we pay tribute to those individuals who embrace their roots while making meaningful contributions to their new communities. Through the efforts of the Bahamas Diaspora Association and the National Association of the Bahamas, a platform has been established to unite the Bahamian diaspora. This summit is so much more than an event. It represents a movement that aims to foster connections, empower people, and spread our national pride. Our heritage is filled with tales of Bahamians who have ventured beyond our shores while carrying with them the indomitable spirit that defines our culture. Since the 1800s, when the first documented Bahamians immigrated to the mainland United States, we have played an integral role in shaping diverse and vibrant communities. There are great Bahamians like Alexander Lightbourne, an immigrant who played a part in incorporating Miami as a city in 1896, as well as the Bahamian laborers who helped build some of Miami's most iconic landmarks. Our fingerprints are all over the formation and building of the city of Miami and throughout the wider Florida community. Perhaps that's why so many of us take such regular trips to Miami as our home away from home, and why so much of our national cuisine has been incorporated into the diets of Floridians. Our ties to Miami runs deep and are steeped in a rich history. The residences of E.W.F. Stirrup and Mariah Brown on Charles Avenue, a community first settled by Bahamians in the 1880s, serve as enduring symbols of our contributions and legacy. It is only fitting that we gather this evening to honor and celebrate Bahamians who represent Bahamian excellence wherever they are planted. Tonight, we come together to recognize the successes of our diaspora. We pay tribute to those who have excelled in their fields, enriched their communities, and proudly upheld their heritage. Although you may be living abroad, you still show the world what it means to be a true Bahamian. We honor your accomplishments, praise your meaningful representation, and thank you for your contributions to our nation. As we look ahead, we envision the Bahamas International Diaspora Summit evolving into a gathering where Bahamians from across the globe can come together to reconnect with their origins and contribute towards our nation's progress. We're looking forward to the workshops and discussions that will focus on business opportunities, philanthropy, and collaboration. Our government is dedicated to establishing an environment that supports growth, innovation, and opportunities for all Bahamians, both within the country and abroad. We understand the vital importance of our diasporic connection to our progress as a nation. Hopefully, in the near future, as we expand our economy, create new opportunities, promote our global Bahamian skills database, and secure more top jobs for qualified members of our diaspora, we will pave the way for a return for those of you who long to return home, given the right circumstances. In closing, I want to express my appreciation to the Bahamas Diaspora Association, the National Association of the Bahamas, and everyone who has put in the work to bring this summit to fruition. Your commitment and enthusiasm are truly admirable. To our honorees, congratulations on your hard-earned recognition. Your accomplishments showcase the resilience, talent, and strength of the Bahamas globally. Let's continue building connections, forming partnerships, and collaborating towards a bright and lofty future for the Bahamas and Bahamians everywhere. Thank you all, and may God bless the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and the Bahamian diaspora. Good evening.
Not bad from a boy from Mangrove Key in South Andrews, and Mangrove Key. Yeah, not bad for a boy. Let's give another hand. Minister Smith, can you join me on stage so we can hand out these awards? Director General Duncombe. So this is the night where Minister Smith from Freeport? Not Minister Smith. Not yet. Member of Parliament from West End, Grand Bahama, Smith. Well, I'm speaking for future stuff for this young man. Yeah.
That's why he didn't respond.
Oh, that's why he didn't respond.
Parliamentary Secretary Smith.
Pal Sec.
He's coming now.
Oh. But trying to shape your future, Pal Sec. Thank you. We're gonna hand out the awards to illustrious awardees. These young men and women have really epitomized what it is to be between two shores. Whether it's in the Bahamas or whether it's in the United States abroad, they have never, ever forgotten who they are or from whence they came. And so it is a great honor for the diaspora to award these people for not what they've done, but what becomes natural to them. So our first awardee, PJ?
Our first awardee for the 2024 Bahamas Diaspora is Wayne Jones, Police Chief of the City of Miami Beach, Florida.
And let me tell you a little bit about Wayne Jones. He was born in the Bahamas. As I said earlier, he's now the police chief of Miami Beach. Remember when I came here, they said Miami Beach wasn't safe. It meant it wasn't safe for some folks. But now I feel much better there. And a couple of months ago, I'm in good hands. A couple of months ago, I had about 30 police officers that were visiting. I called Chief and I said, Chief, will you give us some time and talk to these officers about what it is that you do and develop some relationship? And we spent some time with him and he was very gracious with his time. Chief, thank you very much. And congratulations with your award.
Thank you so much.
Folks, right here, right here. 1, 2, and 3. One more, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you.
Our next 2024
Yeah, Mountain Andres? Wow.
Our next 2024 Bahamas Diaspora winner is Shala Cartwright, Council of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas in Miami.
I have the good fortune in saying this is my cousin. Let's be very clear. Mike Cartwright was my great-grandfather. Thank you for what you do. Since she's been here, she's embraced the diaspora, whether it's Miami or Delray. Wherever we are as Bahamians, we can always count on her. Thank you very much for your service and what you continue to do for Bahamians and for the Bahamas. Jerry? Thank you very much.
Our next 2024 Bahamas Diaspora winner is Lawrence Jabbo Martin, Vice Mayor of the City of Lauderhill, Florida. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to attend this evening as he fell ill.
If I may say something about, he has caught a bit of pneumonia, and I spoke to him late this afternoon. He was not feeling great. But I got to tell you something that Kingsley, you and I, Palsec, we talked about this. This is a gentleman that we were looking for fire engines, and I went to the city of Lauderhill, and he gave us a ladder truck and a emergency vehicle that the city, and they send their engineers over to deliver that fire truck. Again, he's from West End. He's a Martin. 8 Mile Rock. Thank you.
Our next 2024 Bahamas Diaspora winner is Ms. Helen Gage, founder and preservationist of the Bethel House Bahamian American Museum in Florida.
Ms. Gage continued to take our history and keep it in a place called a museum for the next generation, of not only Bahamian young people, but people in general. We're going to donate that headpiece, that beautiful Junkanoo headpiece to the museum. Hopefully a lot of folks can see that Junkanoo is always in your belly.
Thank you so much.
Over here. Thank you. Congratulations.
Our next 2024 Bahamas Diaspora winner is Clarence Woods III, Executive Director of the City of Fort Lauderdale Redevelopment Agency.
You talk about development and redevelopment. Many of you, and I was told there's some things I can't say about Overtown, but many of you know that it takes vision to make changes. Like our Prime Minister, he had a vision to change the Bahamas. Clarence ran the Community Development Agency in Overtown, and he has developed it into a new city. New restaurants, new apartment buildings, but what's more important, he gave people in the community an opportunity to build wealth. Well, I thought he would retire and go into the sunset, but then he decided to go up to Fort Lauderdale. He's taken a street, a development that runs from Andrews Avenue, 7th Avenue, from US 1, all the way just beyond 95, and he is spending his time redeveloping. And if you go down there today, you see new restaurants. I'm happy to call him my friend. I also lobby him a lot for giving us an opportunity. And the one thing, Jerry and I went to visit him a couple of months ago, and he has an open door policy to those that want to redevelop our community. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize his lovely wife, Marshall, who sits on the board with me at Virginia State University, where they both went to school, and his parents is from the Bahamas, and he met his lovely wife at Virginia State. Harbour Island. I'm sorry. I forget your uncle. Thank you. We have one more?
Just stand again.
Our next 2024 Bahamas Diaspora winner is Mr. Stanley Campbell, owner of Martin Downs Golf Club in Stuart, Florida.
I wanted to be a golf pro. It didn't work. I wanted to be a general manager, it didn't work. So I decided to go and invest and buy hotels. But Stanley upped me. When he bought his first golf course, I said to myself, a Bahamian, a fellow like Stanley, have a golf course. But then he went and got his second golf course. But not enough, he went and got his third golf course. So I've been traveling back and forth to Stuart with developers at Wyndham and Hilton, looking to see how we can collaborate and take those acreage that you have in Stuart and put hotels there. You know, I don't know how Stanley did it, but Jay, if you remember, 2 months ago, Stanley and I flew to Orlando, and we had 8,000 Indians in Orlando, 1,500 deltas, and we walked every hall, every convention space. We need to get them in the Bahamas. I agree with the Jennifer, Shante, y'all need to get to work. Let's get the deal done. But Stanley is what we consider his mother's from. Where's your mother from? Cat Island. Think about it. But guys, for you, those of you who may be too young to know, guess who his brother is? 2 Live Crew, Luther Campbell, my good friend Stanley Campbell. Thank you for what you do. And his lovely wife, Undersecretary Campbell. That's Luther Campbell's brother. Yeah. Thank you, Stanley. Stanley was also one of the... one of the first African Americans to own a charter company. He flew around. Jesse Jackson. I'm sorry? Bring them back up? All of them back up? Oh, all the awardees. All right. Can all the awardees join me on stage for a picture, please? Clarence, Miss Gage. Yeah, bring it up with you. As a matter of fact, Stanley used to ferry around Margaret Thatcher, Jesse Jackson. And huh? Are we missing one? Is it? Huh?
Congratulations once again to all of our 2024 Bahamas Diaspora winners: Wayne Jones, Shala Cartwright, Lawrence Jabbo Martin, Helen Gage, Clarence Woods III, and Stanley Campbell.
Thank you very much. This concludes our festivities for the night. This has been an interesting week. We started on Thursday here with 80 individuals looking to do business with Wyndham Hotel. On Wednesday, we brought in the only African-American woman in the country who runs a hospitality real estate company that owns over 150 hotels. On Thursday, we had our partner Hilton Hotel host our luncheon. We had about 450 people. And what was most interesting, we had Donahue Peoples as a keynote speaker, who was the first African American to build a hotel on Miami Beach, where you are, Chief. And then on Friday, our international luncheon, we had Marriott, another one of our partners, at that luncheon. And of course, our sponsors that have made that possible. On Saturday, we had a piece on the diaspora, our multicultural. And I like to have the vision when I look at things to see what can we do to make it better. When I started this business, there was one African-American-owned hotel in this country, and I was told that black people didn't own hotels. And I put together a group, and my group today own over 250 hotels. This weekend, we did 13 deals. This week, we did 13 deals, almost $400 million. Last year, we had a young man that came to us and said he wanted to do business with the hotel industry. He had a staffing company, an attorney out of Atlanta, Georgia. We introduced him to Hilton, and Hilton gave him a break to staff one of the biggest hotels in Atlanta. He spoke on Thursday, Jay. His billing increased by $8 million. On Wednesday night, I pulled a team of Asian American partners together, and we sat down with the city of Miami, with the Miami Convention and Visitors Bureau, my host, and we crafted a deal to bring 8,000 Indians at their annual conference here in 2027. I believe in the power of tourism. I believe in the power of tourism because coming from the Bahamas and growing up in Jamaica at a boarding school, which I thought at one point my parents had abandoned me, and I understand why they did, but they didn't. They wanted me to have a great education. I would be remiss if I didn't recognize the president of my university from Jamaica. Dr. Edwards, are you in the house? There he is. I had the pleasure and due today of working with that university. We plan on building a solar farm in St. Elizabeth. We provide funding for the school. Our goal is to give back more than we've taken. So I implore my members of the diaspora to remember that tonight, somebody somewhere is going to bed and would not have enjoyed the meal that you all did. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you, and we look forward to seeing you next year. Good night.
This concludes the third annual Bahamas Independence and Bahamas Diaspora Awards Dinner. Thank you to our sponsors, Royal Caribbean, the the Association of the Bahamas, NABHOOD, Bahamas Air, Bahamas Global Clearance, Tropic Ocean Airways, King's Ocean Services.